Hello, bonjour, ça va? How are we today? It is Tuesday, November the 4th, 2025, here in southwestern Ontario, Canada, by the beautiful shores of Lake Huron. The last few days I've been guided to watch some videos. I did post the last one up on my Facebook page if you're wanting to take a look. It's a little long, just under 2 hours. But there was a very good explanation about plasma. We're plasma. I understand plasma and the blood and all that. No, that's the fluid. That's over half percentage of what the blood is made up of. This is kind of biology talk here. Probably going to be a little bit more scientific with a spiritual edge to it today, is what I'm getting to say. So these plasmic fields of light are interspersed in the higher might. And we're speaking to you from our angelic might. We're giving you access to your higher light. And this is our expression from our higher might. Okay, so we're going to talk today about these fields. Now we know already about the morphogenetic fields of light. We know I guess that's a relatively new concept here, but there are many genetic fields of light here on your world and on your planet, and they reproduce creative thought energy waves of light. And as we pronounce certain things from our higher insight, we bring them into the higher light. We are creating, we're creationists, we've said this before, we are creating our own higher light. So when you look at these explanations, 3D level explanations of those fields and the plasmic fields of light, you can understand a little bit better how to release your fear and your fright. Because we don't come from our dark of night. We come here to experience a lower level light cell energy way of being, but we're not projecting that onto the world or the planet at large. It's about the individuation of how we degrade ourselves or our cells of light to understand the lower light. Which, of course, we would have to do. We'd have to bring ourselves down a few levels or notches to be able to understand the lowliness or the lowly worth essence of the lower light. As I listened to this show and the lady explaining, she went into great depth. I could follow most of it. I'd have to go back and listen to it again, but it just makes so much sense. Once you understand, this is dangerous information from the controller's point of view, the controllers over the humans, the human field of light. Because once you understand we're made of plasma, we are plasma, plasma creates plasma, the morphogenetic fields, how they kind of move within all these frames of thought waves and reconditioning of the brain and the brain stem and causal forms and the whole bit. Like it's very complicated. We're simplifying it greatly today. Then you understand how we are made and therefore how to run the machinery and how to be complete within ourselves and nobody else. So again, we've talked for years to you about how not to be under the thumb or the rulership of anyone. You rule yourself. You are creationists on board this circle of light here, which is the planet, Mother Earth. So as we go forward now in our new creative abilities, our new creation wave, or creationist wave, it's about abundance. And again, we've talked to you for years about this in a lesser degree, of course. So these creationist theories or wavelengths of thought come through these morphogenetic plasmic fields of light because that's who we are and where we resonate. We can, and we do, create our own light. We create our own visions of our higher light. We create everything through our thoughts and emotions and are streams of our higher light. We are energy, light, and that is spirit light. It's all the same thing. We've talked about this for years. This is just going into it in a little more detail as, me, Cynthia in 3D, starts to understand it better from a, 3D perspective. I've understood it at the etheric. I haven't understood it in a more scientific 3D way of expressing it. But if you watch this show, it's in the description box below at the very bottom, there's a link to my Facebook page. Healing Our Energy is what it's called. And if you click on that, it'll take you to the show. You can go watch it. It's a Rumble show, not a YouTube show. And the explanation is very good. They're talking about doing more talks on this, which I think is fantastic. I think we really need to, all of us, understand where this is coming from and therefore where this is going. I love watching Greg Braden. I've posted his stuff many times as well. But these are the people to start listening to instead of all the hype and some of the information that, gets you unsettled and in distress. Listen to these people talking. They're giving you higher encoded information of light. They're teaching you about yourselves and what bandwidths of time you're resonating from and where you can go thus in the future. Because we are creationists. I have a feeling I'm going to be saying this quite a bit. And we are to create our own light. So when you understand this at a very succinct third dimensional density level, you're going to get it. You can understand these rhythms of light. And so you can play the game better. You can play with your own energy fields. You don't have to be dependent on the thoughts of others to tell you what to do. I know we've been emphasizing that a lot more lately, but that's because it's true. And we're now at the right time juncture in the time wave of thought to be able to reveal this, or this revelation of thought is coming through. It's how we're being taught. And I kept hearing in meditation, I've had some incredibly deep meditations lately. Wow, I can't even express how these have been. They're just incredible. And I've been hearing all this information, and there's such an intensity and depth to it. It's like unexplainable with human language. But more and more, we're starting to see our own energy core resurface and walk through the open door. So we're allowing ourselves to see ourselves, to actually be ourselves. We're not going to want to have anyone rule over us anymore. Right at your genetic core. You can create that. You can change that. You can revel in that. You can be whatever in that. And it's an awesome, beautiful thing. This is not part of your destiny to be destitute for the rest of your lives. To be energy vampires of each other. It's to be energy pioneers together. So the whole collective here is wasting their energy on reproducing light for others to deplete them of. In other words, to use and abuse. We've talked about this many times as well. And every time we bring up this subject, there's going to be more and more depth to it because we're building. These are the building blocks of the stones of light, if you want to call it that or look at it that way. And then you'll see the domination and control that's been perpetuated on your planet for eons of time. But as your birthing comes through with this new rhythm and this new rhyme, you're going to be able to step out of time, and therefore you're going to learn about the new interdimensional mind. So the third eye mind becomes divine. You see yourself on a new timeline because you're creationist and you're creating this new diamond mind. It's what we've been about all along. So we come in from on high, as you would like to say, or from a higher interdimensional thought plane. Some of us come from the future. I'm a future expression of myself here. That's why I talk with futuristic kind of language and tone. And we drop in and we check this zone out. Wow, that's what it's like to feel so low. Wow, that's amazing. That's so different from our usual plane of thought, which is high and light and bright. Now I get it. Now I understand it. Now I know why there's so much resistance to our higher light. It's intoxicating being down here. And this is where the addictions are coming in, because Spirit just guided me, as I kind of mentioned a couple of videos ago. I've had my 3D mind changed in regards to addictions, because they can be used by whomever is creating this situation for themselves to use and abuse themselves all on their own. They can use these disabilities, as we're hearing it called, to enlighten them, because they, you know how you sabotage yourself and you just crash and burn. And then you have a choice. You either do yourself in because you can't take it anymore, or you rise above because there's nowhere left to go. You've gone down as far as you can possibly go. I'm just trying to think what year we were dealing with that a lot with people. I would say that was 2019. It was before I moved away from Barrie, so it had to be before 2019. So I would say 2018, let's guess in there, 2017, 18, 19. We were dealing with people from a healing point of view, of helping those who had bottomed out. And I remember so many times working with people's energy fields that their thoughts, they were down, I always heard it as in their dark, deep little hole of hell, their little hell. And they bottomed out. And that's what we were doing at that time frame, was to help people come out of their dark little hell, because they were not feeling very well. How could you be? But they were surrendering to their lower light. Then you come back up. That's how it's rigged here. That's how it works. That's how we learn to come back from our lower light. It's not a death sentence when you drop into your deep, dark little hell. Okay? That's just when you wish yourself well and you start to tell yourself, okay, we've deep dived as far as we can possibly go. We can't go any lower, so we've got to now come back up. So it's that point. Again, we talk about you come in, drop down, boing, you hit this point, like a stop point in trading, and boom, you got to go back up, or you pass out of this reality, because there's nowhere else to go. Okay, your flow is sustained there, so it drops down to the furthest point ever, and then it bounces back up. So you start pulling yourself back up out of your deep, dark little hellhole that you've dug for yourself. So those with these massive addictions to whatever it is, your drug of choice, right? It can be anything, as we know. And once they see their own light, they resurrect themselves back into their higher might. Then they go forward and teach others and help others. They throw them a line, like a safety line, like when you're fallen off the boat and you're in the lake and you know you can't swim, or it's too cold, or it's too deep, or whatever, and somebody throws you a lifeline, pulls you back into the boat so you can stay afloat. And that's what it's like. We go out and we help each other, because just at the moment of your rebirth, you start to be in a vulnerable state. You surrender, you drop your resistance, and you come back to your higher light. It's very helpful to have someone else who's been there, done that before you, to help you. And this is the spiral up. Fibonacci curve, spiral. You go right back up again. And then you go, oh yeah, that's what I learned. Now I know. Now I get it. Now I can flow. And then you know yourself. And once you know yourself, you know everybody else, because we have this convergent thought range here. Okay, the fields of light. We're all part of it. So therefore, when one knows something, the all knows something. It's a very quick learning curve when we all come back to our higher light. So those of us who are the way showers, the ones who carry the biggest burdens on our back to lift others on our shoulders, to prop them up, to get them, back to their higher light. We're converging with these higher soul light beings who help us on our way. So it's all a chain reaction. Okay, it's not just one of us. There are those of us who've come in to, I'm hearing it to say, to perpetrate a new way. So it's a new thought way. We're changing the thoughts and the expression of light, expressions of light. That's what we're changing. That's the revolution. That's the evolution of our higher light. So if you've been contained too much, it's like in a drum, a steel drum of light, then it's time to lift yourself out and bring yourself back to your higher light. So come out of that constriction. It's thought. You're holding yourself back due to the way you think. We're bursting forth the old thought waves that have been pre-engineered. So in other words, your belief systems, they got to go. They got to go. All right? All of them. That's what's coming down. That's what the system busters do. That's what the angelic realm, the indigos, the other beings of light, masters. It's a whole groups. Everybody's helping. Everybody's pulling each other up. So when you have the addictions to whatever, smoking, drinking, porn, sex, gambling, game playing, whatever, fill in the blanks. There's so many, anything, right? Anything that diverts your attention away from the real you. It's polluting your system of light. But then you learn what it's like to be of lower light. You can throw the shackles off, and you can come back up. So it's like a cork. You hold the cork under the water. There's a pressure there. And then you get fed up with it, and you just, the pressure comes off, and you pop back up. There's nothing to restrain you because you're light. Right? You're part of this morphogenetic field, the plasmic field of light, protons. I always have heard about protons or photons and all that stuff, which of course in this lifetime I successfully avoided taking science and math and all that geometry stuff, that physics, earthly stuff, earthly teachings have made no sense to me. So I just, like I do with everything I don't like, I just avoid, Yeah. I think, what did I say? This lady, at the retreat, one of the ladies is very good at preparing food, loves it. Yeah, not my cup of tea. I do it. You have to learn to do that, right? That's something we all learn to do, some more successfully than others. And I decided I never wanted to bake anything, like ever. And I never have. And I just said, I have successfully not baked in my entire lifetime. So I think I'm doing a really good job about avoiding doing something I don't like to do. And that's what it's like. There's certain things we just don't like, and we don't do it. And some of us don't like coming back to our higher light. But we're now being given a respite. We can now come back to our higher light. There's so much energy, systems pounding on your world to open the doors of your lower light, to see what the heck's been going on here. You can't hide now from the truth. We talked about this how many years ago? I said you wouldn't be able to hide. You wouldn't be able to not see it. When Spirit says, or universe, source, when it's time to wake up, you are going to wake up whether you like it or not. It's your decision whether you go with it or not. You can cancel yourself out if you so choose. But then you're going to lose. You're going to lose your light. Again, your choice. There's no judgment. You came here for an experience. You've got it. You have gotten it over many lifetimes, eons of time. And now it's your time to turn on a dime. Remember, we used to hear that all the time. You're going to turn on a dime. Now it's your turn to turn on a dime. This is a blessing. This is a beautiful time period of your higher light. Come back to it. Drop your restrictions. Drop your addictions. Anything that restricts you, distracts you, holds you back, drop it. I advised one of my neighbors, you're so addicted to watching the Facebook feeds of all the negative news that gets you riled up. Gets all riled up about it. Loves it. I'm telling him for years, stop watching it. You rile yourself up. Nobody wants to hear it. And then he goes out and he riles everybody up as much as he can get anybody to listen to him. It's not finding as many people want to listen to him anymore. Okay? That's an addiction to the lower light. I love getting all fired up and upset and spewing that around everywhere. It's fun. It's fun for him. We all have our different opinions of fun. But the lower light fun stuff ain't going to cut it anymore. As you move up the ladder of your level of consciousness, awareness, awakening, you don't find those lower level beings and ways of being any fun anymore. It gets to the point, I'm sorry, but you feel a little disgusted with it. That is so old news. I can't do that anymore. It's depleting my higher energy light. Don't want it. But of course, why do you think they do it? They may not know that they're doing it for that reason. But it pulls your energy down and it lifts them up. Okay? Again, energy vampirism. It's how it works. We don't always know or understand that technology, but that's what it is. It's a lower technology of thought. It's a lower wisdom thought. There's no stopping us now. All right? Three-Eye Atlas is on its way. It's already morphed. We're all morphing. We're all changing. We're all shifting. And that's a good thing because it's in the higher way. So we're going to say, we bless you all today and we love you in every way. Be a frequency that can say you're built from the higher way. God bless. We'll see you another day. And that's our message for today. So I'm going to go. Love you always. Take care of yourselves and others. If you do wish to book an appointment with us, you can go to the website, www.healingourenergy.ca. The November newsletter is up on the website. The new pricing is up and posted. So I think that's about it. Yeah, there's nothing else going on this month, I don't think. But then it's early, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway. We'll see you again. Bye for now.